Morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Drop-In Morning Show, where the Teach Better team is live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We so appreciate those of you who are tuning in this morning with us. It is Friday, November 12th. We are ending our week with a bang. We have a lot going on in this show, a lot of good discussions. We're going to wrap up our discussion this week for our theme, Remembering Teach Better 2019. And of course, the one and only Brad Hughes is here. So you know it's going to be good, friends. We'll be right back as we get into this Friday. Please throw your good mornings, your comments here with us live if you are tuning in live. Otherwise, even if you're tuning in after the fact, tweet at us, send a message, tell us good morning, send us a screenshot of you listening. We would love to connect with you. So let's get started.
So right now, I want to know if you're ready to teach better.
That's the whole mission of this weekend.
Just being here ready to learn and grow and come together like this is awesome.
What are those small changes that can make you better tomorrow than you were today?
All the amazing speakers we have here, wow.
We have a ton of people here who are published authors, who are writing about education.
Let's get out there and teach better.
Brad, I had to play that commercial because this is the last day to play it.
It's a really inspiring way to get our morning started. How has your week been?
Oh, Brad, how dare you ask me that? Because I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to tell you about my week. And that is going to be a rabbit hole of a discussion. So really quick before we do that, how was your week?
Wow, it was a busy week at school, just working things through with lots of different and interesting things that come up in our school setting, and just working with amazing staff and teachers to make things better for kids.
Well, that's wonderful. I know that, we don't really talk much like show to show. Like, it's a busy week. We both have, busy lives, but it's always fun to be able to touch base. But that was a very political answer, which means you've had a little stress in your life this week. And I'm just thrilled that you're here bright and early. You're smiling, ready to get into Daily Drop-In. I mean, that's a blessing. I'm glad you're here, friend.
100%. I'm here, and this is a great opportunity for some stress relief, to connect with a good friend and connect with good friends in our Teach Better family, right?
That's true. Good morning to everyone in the comments. I know Jeff Gargis and Brian Fennell are already jumping in saying good morning. So good to see all of you. We always love when you throw emojis or those good news or the good morning messages in the chat with us. Brad, Daily Drop-In, we cover the hard-hitting stuff, right? I mean, we obviously take questions live. We're always talking shop. I have a real question, and you were the one that is going to have to discuss this with me because it happened last night, which means I have to talk to you about it this morning. So I just want to apologize in advance. I have questions.
I'm really intrigued. Let's get started.
Okay. So Brad, yesterday, I have some family friends that reach out to me and say, hey, we'd love to, get together. Haven't seen you, for multiple years, obviously with COVID, and, we'd love to catch up. So they are in the city of Chicago. Okay. So no big deal. I decide to drive. I'm going to meet them about 5 blocks from their homes. And we go to a beautiful restaurant, right? No concerns there. Very safe. We appreciate all that Chicago is doing with the COVID protocols. But there is 0 parking garages anywhere near the restaurant. Now, I don't know, Brad, I know you're at least in the Toronto area. I don't know what the parking situation is like in that city. I've never been. I hope to someday. But Chicago has a spattering of parking options. It's either like a garage or a parallel parking situation, right? I mean, that makes sense. Is that similar to Toronto?
Yeah, there's lots of parking garages and even parking spaces that you can book in advance. So ample parking as long as you're willing to walk to your destination, for sure.
Sure. And I think Chicago does too. But in my mind, I was like, I will just go and I will find a parking garage. And when I say I'm going to find a parking garage, I drove to 3 different parking garages on the map that were within a 15-minute walk to where I was headed. And they weren't like there. Like the map was wrong. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like how frustrating, right?
Right.
So then, no big deal. I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I will just parallel park on the street. There's absolutely no reason that I am zigzagging around, this area to park. But I don't understand. if you are going to a city that really, not exclusively, but very much encourages and sustains a parallel parking community,
Mhm.
why is that not taught? I'm so nervous. Do they teach parallel parking places? I don't think I learned in my driver's ed classes how to parallel park. I think my dad forced me to learn.
It was part of my driver training and my kids' driver training as well. But it's something that I think is sort of a tick off of the checkbox during driver training. You have an opportunity to do it. It causes a lot of stress for the young driver or the new driver or any driver. So yeah, I don't think it's something that is rehearsed because I think that the opportunities or the need to do it might be fewer and farther between.
I'm just saying, I want to hear in the comments if any of how you guys learned to parallel park. Like, tell me who taught you, or if you learned in school. Brett, I guess I'm happy to hear that you learned in school, but I will honestly tell you that maybe it's like the second phase of driving. Maybe when you learn to drive and you get your license or your permit at 15 and 16 years old, maybe there should be a requirement that like by 18 you learn how to parallel park. I don't know, but it was just so interesting because truly where I was, there was no option to do anything else with your car but parallel park.
Mm.
So if you didn't know how to do that, you were not having dinner last night. That's all I'm saying. There was no option for food. You were leaving the area and you were going somewhere else. And I just find that so interesting. I can't tell you the last time I parallel parked. Like years ago, like more than 3 was the last time I parallel parked. Last night, obviously not, being the time that I had to make it happen. But I don't know. That's a really important skill. Adam in the comments is saying it's a great skill, but he's not good at it. But I could manage if I had 3 to 5 chances. Okay, 3 to 5 chances to to go past the car that you want to park in behind.
Mhm.
Then you have to jimmy your way sideways and then jimmy your way forward. And then is it that many times? 1, 2, 3. Is it 3 times?
Yeah, it can be. And one of the challenges too, Ray, is that often you're trying to do that with traffic coming up behind you and on your left.
Mhm.
And you have to make sure that the car behind you, if that's happening, is aware that you're trying to pull in. And of course,
Right.
people are in a hurry. They're trying to get where they need to go. And it's not easy. Like you're it's not easy to do. And it's stressful to do because of the conditions around you to make it happen. Sounds like what the only alternative might be in that area, Ray, just to make sure that there are a lot of high class drive-throughs that people can access to to take away the delicious restaurant meal and avoid the parallel parking altogether.
I was thinking because I felt pretty desperate. I was in a little bit of just a little bit of frustration was within me
Yeah.
at the time.
Mhm.
And there was a few parking lots for like businesses. And at that point, I was like, I should just park here and choose to get a ticket. Like at this point, I will leave my car anywhere. I will give any amount of money so I can get out of this car. I am just prepared to park my Mazda and never come back.
Mhm.
And yes, then parallel parking became my reality. But Brad, here's the hard-hitting discussion. This is why I needed you here.
Ready.
Any tips and tricks for parallel parking? If somebody's listening right now and they're like, oh my goodness, Brad and Ray, if I was in that circumstance, I would just turn around, not see my friends, not eat dinner that night because there was no option for me. What are our parallel parking suggestions? Do we have like 3 parallel parking need to know so that everybody is a little bit safer as they go and get dinner with their family and friends over the next few weeks?
I would recommend a YouTube search for parallel parking tips and videos that I recently checked out as my kids were learning to drive have some tips in terms of things to look for in the passenger side windows and you can practice that. I mean, I'm not sure how to practice it with the YouTube clip in your car, but I'd recommend checking out the clip, maybe rehearsing it in your living room, and then taking it out and maybe have the written instructions there and have a friend or a passenger with you who can coach you on that. Second tip I'd say is find a parking lot so you're not doing it in active traffic.
Mhm.
And the third tip just might be avoid parallel parking at all costs if you can.
If you can. Yeah, Brianna's suggesting getting like cones and
Mhm.
putting those out.
Yeah.
But then it gets into Brianna, like how far are the cones apart? Because in the city of Chicago, when I was driving yesterday, it does not feel like your car will fit. Maybe it will. I know all cars are within, a certain size, but there are many, many spots that I was pretty confident my car would not fit, at least with my skill set. There was just no way. There was no way.
I know that many fine dining restaurants and hotels have valet parking, and I wonder if they offer valet parallel parking in those cases where you just pull up to a booth, you give someone your keys, they parallel park it for you, and you come back and pick up your keys at that stand later. I'm just not sure if that is a business opportunity for someone in our Teach Better family or just something I need to address with the city of Chicago directly.
Brad, with my frustration yesterday, I was willing to give my keys to about anybody that was going to buy my parking spot for my car.
Love
and
it.
no kidding, you can judge me, friends. I apologize if this is a terrible trait that Ray has, but once I had gotten to that third parking garage that didn't exist, but the map told me it did. Once I got there, I literally started Googling hotels because my mindset was if there's any hotel, they will have valet parking and I will pay. I was willing to pay upwards of $1,000 to get out of my stinking car yesterday. Granted, it didn't need to happen because I parallel parked and only paid $4, which seemed much more realistic.
That's a win right there.
Oh my God. Anyway, well, I hope that you all appreciated our parallel parking tutorial.
Mhm.
Thank you for the suggestion, Brad, to look it up on YouTube. I feel like even in a little bit of a tizzy, if you are caught in a parallel parking situation, not feeling like you have the skill set, you could just YouTube it right there. I mean, we aren't encouraging watching YouTube videos while driving. That's not appropriate. But you could like pull over, watch a video, and then follow the steps even in the moment.
You could do any of those things as long as you're obeying all traffic laws, and hopefully you've got a passenger in the seat with the video coaching you rather than you watching it on your screen with your hands on the wheel.
Maybe that's better. Brand saying, thank goodness for my backup camera. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Cars with backup cameras have that strength as well. So Brad, as you were talking about the mirrors, the backup camera is obviously very important. I'll drive around 30 times before I attempt to parallel park. That's funny, Brand. That's so good. Adam wants to know, are there any parallels to education and parking? I think that educating yourself on how to parallel park is education within itself. But what are your thoughts on this, Brad?
I'm coming up with a blank on the parallels between education and parking, because education is all about moving forward and parking is about sort of staying still. But I guess our schools are a bit like parking lots for our staff and students, where they come to start their day, and I'm having trouble with the parallels there, Adam, but there's got to be something there. Just give my brain time to warm up and I'll figure them out.
Yeah, Brad, you are the king of funny puns and analogies and metaphors. I'm a little disappointed. I will say, Adam, the similarity between education and parking in my day yesterday was that I find education to sometimes be infuriating, and yesterday parking was infuriating. So there's some parallels there, but I'm not sure. I like your connection, Brad, between education moving forward and parking be related to stopping. That's true. Those are definitely different.
Well, yeah, I'm really struggling to come up with the connections, and I kind of felt put on the spot.
See?
Yeah, the wheels are spinning, but I'm not going anywhere. So I do apologize to Adam and our listeners. I'll figure things out.
You know what? I love it. And I want to give a shout out to Lori. Lori, this is like the 5th time this week you've been tuning in this morning and commenting. We love having you not only watch, but participate in the Daily Drop-In. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. Brad, we need to get into, it's Friday, we need to get into some good news stories and some holidays, because while this discussion was fascinating, I have a feeling there's only more to come. So we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Drop-In Morning Show with the Teach Better team. We're thrilled that you are here, starting your morning with us, or even if you're tuning in after the fact, we're thrilled to be a part of any of your day. Thank you for being here with us. It is Friday, November 12th, and we have some holidays and some good news stories. Brad, this is the typical question I'm going to ask every single week. Do we start with good news or do we start with holidays?
I think you know the answer. I think we agreed that we start with holidays and then we shift to good news, if that's okay.
I'm just hoping someday you tell me, no, Ray, the good news story cannot wait.
Okay.
Like someday.
Stay tuned.
Few things, Brad, for some holidays today that I want to note. Yesterday was full of holidays with Veterans Day, Remembrance Day.
hmm
There was a lot to celebrate. It filled my news feeds on my social media platforms that I check daily of the people that were really coming together to celebrate a very, very important day yesterday. I'm not sure today is equivalent, but there might be some interesting ones we're celebrating. Here's one for you. It is World Happy Hour Day today.
Oh,
So it is Friday. I'm not sure what everyone's happy hour plans are, but just so you know, that is something that we can celebrate. And I will note that happy hour dates back to World War I. And so technically it's historical. I mean, we could make some connections here. It is also National French Dip Day. Brad, are you a French dip lover?
absolutely. Yeah. French dip and freshly baked or freshly cooked fries on the side, and just
Ooh.
dip away. Ooh la la.
I will tell you, I don't know that I'm a French dip person, but there is fries in here, and I will take the fries. So maybe we could split a meal here. That would be good. This is the one, Brad, that I knew that you would want to celebrate and have some really deep discussion on. It's obviously a very important holiday to many. So I'd love your thoughts on this. I'm happy to dive as deep into this as you'd like. But it is National Pizza with the Works Except Anchovies Day. What are your thoughts?
Something's a little fishy about that. It sounds like a made up holiday to me, but we celebrate all kinds of holidays, Ray. The serious ones, the cheesy ones. We've got a really upper crust audience here, and discussing these kind of holidays is really a slice, no matter which way you look at it. But the pie in the sky holidays, like the pizza with the works sans anchovies day, is really just a gourmet treat for us to dig into.
Oh, Brad, thank God it's Friday. I do want to hear people in the comments. This is going to be a poll of our Teach Better family. If you're not participating with us live, you're going to need to weigh in anyway, regardless of how you're tuning in. But specifically, if you're live with us, we need a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can just throw it in the comments telling us yes or no. Anchovy fan or not an anchovy fan? We want to know thumbs up. Yep, I love anchovies. Thumbs down. You couldn't get me to eat an anchovy, or I don't prefer it. Brad, are you an anchovy kind of eater?
Every once in a while, Ray, and very sparingly, but yeah, I like I like the flavor. I like the tang on them, and
Salty?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, but yep, sparingly every once in a while. It's not something I'd order on pizza every single time.
Well, there's definitely some meals, especially some recipes that have anchovies in them, like Caesar salad dressing, right? That has anchovies in them, but people don't prefer to eat the whole thing. I just thought it was interesting that truly this day, National Pizza with the Works, meaning, isn't that like with everything? When it says with the works, it's like everything in the kitchen, everything except the kitchen sink, right? It's like every single thing. And then except anchovies, that means this person that made it likes every single thing except for anchovies. That is quite a statement to say that you like everything else except anchovies.
I know that Chicago and the Chicago area is renowned for its incredible pizzas and deep dish pies. We could take time to talk about fish as a topping and really rate them on a scale. But I think that if our listeners are willing to take the bait, maybe we could discuss pineapple on pizza. That's also a really divisive topping. Anchovies and like maybe double anchovies, double pineapple.
Wait, Brad Hughes, did you just relate the distaste for anchovies to be similar in any way to pineapple? What did you just do? The distaste for anchovies is not the same as pineapple on pizza. How dare you compare those two things?
I agree. I was only pointing out, Ray, that both anchovies and pineapple as pizza toppings can be very divisive to people. In my area, there's a big debate about pineapple on or pineapple off the pizza. Some people say absolutely keep it off; it doesn't belong. Some people say, yeah, it's delicious. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I am certain that anchovies and pineapple are very, very different.
I do love pineapple on my pizza. That would be the go. I do have to say, if anybody was watching this show like on the video, but watching without the audio, us showing all these thumbs down comments would not go well. They would be assuming, I assumed, that our show was getting the thumbs down.
Sorry, yeah, fail. Yeah, daily drop in fail.
Sorry, thumbs down. Nobody is a anchovy lover. It's interesting. Okay. Well. Brad, I appreciate you celebrating this holiday with me. I encourage everybody to go get a pizza with the works. And just don't tell us if you get anchovies or not, because while our morning community right now is saying absolutely not, I am not an anchovy person either, but I know that those people exist. Those people exist. I will say that I will side with the people that like pineapple on their pizza. Sign me up for that. Yeah, Sandra's tuning in right now saying thumbs up that she is a pineapple fan. So at least we have some stuff here. Brad, I'd love to hear the good news story.
Yeah, our conversation has certainly not been full of hot air, but this this good news story may be, Ray, and it relates to the COP, the Council of the Parties 26 conference going on in Glasgow right now. A huge summit of world leaders and environmental leaders and advocates to try to really confirm commitments to additional steps need to be taken for climate change. And there's a connection in the good news story coming from goodnewsnetwork.org about a bouncy castle, Ray, that cleans the air and gobbles CO2, gobbles carbon dioxide while you jump. How about that?
What? I think we all now need bouncy houses in our backyards.
Indeed. Well, these specialized bouncy houses, the inflatable tubes in the jumpy house, contain microscopic algae that feed on carbon and other minerals in the air. And so the algae creates a biomass. So when the jumping occurs, the pump that continuously inflates the bouncy castle pulls in carbon dioxide from the air, and the bouncing movements of the kids, whoever is in the bouncy castle, channels it into the algae chambers, and it literally consumes the CO2. So I've put a link to that story in the Facebook comments, and I'd invite our listeners and viewers to share this with kids and let them know how play can literally clean the air and also have an extension with again, I love sharing stories about innovation, about creative out of the box thinking, and maybe there are ways to adapt some of our favorite playthings to make a difference in the world.
Brad, I think you're so spot on in this evaluation, because yes, we love innovation, but the innovation, when it takes place in something that is already in existence, is such a beautiful way to rethink how systems work. And a bouncy house being now the way that we can clean air, holy cow, I would have never thought of that idea. Very, very cool.
The story comments that climate change may have met its greatest foe ever, and that is the relentless energy of a bouncing child. So may many kids enjoy this innovation, and may much clean air be the result.
When was the last time you were in a bouncy house?
I can't remember the last time I was in a bouncy house. I've supervised and accompanied kids in and out of bouncy houses probably in the last 5 years before the pandemic for fun fairs and barbecues and like that. But I myself have not been in a bouncy castle probably for 20 years.
It sounds like to me, Brad, that you have been a mature adult for too long. Because if you are simply escorting elementary students out of the bouncy house, you're really taking on that adult role. I think the next time a bouncy house is around you, you need to go in and jump, because you might be saving the planet by choosing to do so.
If I have the opportunity to save the planet, Ray, by bouncing in a house, absolutely. I want to make sure that the kids are free and clear. I don't want to inadvertently jump on or jump into a little one. And I also want to make sure that I myself don't bounce out of the house and cause injury to myself. So that is likely something that could occur. I'm frequently bonking my head on stuff and maybe just not as aware of my surroundings as I need to be. So maybe I need a bouncy inflatable helmet on my head before I get into the bouncy house.
Yeah, I cannot tell you the last time I was in a bouncy house. I think they're terrifying and terrible, but I would be willing to do it if we could clean the world. I really could. I do like your idea of clearing the kids out, though. Brad, we've never met in person, but I guess I assume you are quite a tall human being. But I guess I don't know how tall you are, Brad. I mean, do you think kids need to be out because you're, of your size? You're like, oh, I'm so tall, I don't want to step on a child.
Yeah, no, I'm not tall at all, Ray. I'm 5'9", and I think that it's not the height or the weight. It's just my tendency to bounce the wrong way and just to be not in control of
Yeah.
where of myself in space. So I just want to make sure that everybody around me gives me plenty of space to just do my thing and freestyle in the bouncy house.
Is 5'9" not tall? I mean, 5'9" isn't that like an average male
So
height?
it
Am I
sure is, yeah.
wrong?
It sure is, yeah. Yeah, but to your question, no, I'm not a tall dude at all. So it's not like if I pop into the house, I'm going to take up all of the room.
That's good to know. I will say we have so many friends that are joining us that are so active in our Teach Better community this morning. We're going to transition here into our brainstorm bank, and our topic is Teach Better 19. As so many of you know, Teach Better 19, as we're remembering this fun opportunity for us all to get together, was actually one of the few times that we got our Teach Better family members together in real life, face to face, and height, and actually meeting people away from the virtual community
For
was a
sure.
big topic of discussion. So while we transition here, I know you guys have been great in the comments so far, so keep up with us. We'd love to have you comment your height, because so many of you in the comments, I've never met in person. I'd love to get an idea of how tall you all are, because in our virtual community, I think that's very hard to gauge. So we'll be right back. Please let us know how tall you are. If you can do feet and inches, we'd appreciate you. But if you want to do something crazy, I guess we understand that as well. And that will be the first thing that we discuss when we get back. So give us a second, type your comments. How tall are you? And we'll be doing some discussion on that next. Brad, before I forget, I need to put up a reminder for all of us that we are going to be announcing the winner of the Teach Better conference ticket today, this morning. So make sure you are tuning in with us. I know so many of you applied over at teachbetter.com/daily drop-in all week to discuss the winner of that ticket. We will be doing that today. So
Fantastic.
Please make sure you stick with us. Brad, what are your thoughts? We're getting some comments here. Brianna says that she's 5'3". Sandra is 5'8". That's tall. See, so we just got a lot of heights coming in.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on meeting people in person for the first time? It really does kind of like give you a different element of your relationship, don't you think?
100%, Ray. I mean, most people know us just from our shoulders up, and we know each other from shoulders up for probably a year and a half or more now. And so the opportunity to get together in person and just to really share space with loved ones and dear friends is just an incredible opportunity, and it's an opportunity to really talk face to face. And while you're sharing that space together, your height, your appearance, your demeanor, like everything, just is just going to sing when we have that opportunity to get together in person.
It's going to be so fun to get everybody together in person. I cannot wait for Teach Better 2022 to
Mhm.
give everybody a safe environment to meet their virtual family in person. There are a lot of comments coming in, though, really across the whole gamut. Lori says her husband is 6'6". That is very tall. See, we're just going to run the whole gamut here. I'm more like Brianna. I'm very short. I'm like 5'2", 5'3" on a good day, friends. Like if I'm feeling very, extra tall, good posture with maybe some high heels, I could hit 5'3" for sure.
I marvel at just the incredible diversity in height, in talent, in contribution, in personality. And this is what makes our network strong, is finding the fun together, whether it's a discussion about height or about favorite pizza toppings. But it's going to be an awesome community event, and really a way to celebrate what we've established online, Ray, is getting together in person.
So fun. So fun. Brad, we've been talking all week about remembering the Teach Better conference that happened in 2019. I would love to hear your thoughts. I know you've been tuning in all week. I know there's kind of been some great storytelling and some laughter all week long, reminiscing about the last time a lot of Teach Better family members were able to get together. And I say a lot relatively cautiously. I want to preface, the conference that we facilitate is a very small conference intentionally. I really don't predict the Teach Better family ever having a conference of 2,000, 4,000 people. That is really not our style. It was a very small collection of people, about 300 total, that came together in 2019 to really be, experiencing learning in community physically together. And 2022 is not going to be much different. We are really trying to facilitate a very, very small, intimate space. But what's it been like for you? You were not connected to the team at this time. You obviously have only heard stories. Is it, what are your thoughts on hearing about an event that you weren't a part of, to be honest?
It's been great. I mean, it builds anticipation for me to, participate in Teach Better 22. It also just reinforces how I've come to know the Teach Better team and the Teach Better family. People first, love, service, support, integrity, and authenticity. And when I hear and read people's reflections on Teach Better 19, that comes through again and again. Words like life-changing, best PD ever, friends forever. And, it's that opportunity to connect on a personal level that is the foundation for the professional learning that we can do. And it's all based on that network of friendship, caring, and love. So everything that I've heard about Teach Better 19 and seen, all the reflections have just reinforced exactly how I've come to know Teach Better and how I got started with Teach Better in the first place.
Well, I am so excited to have you a part of Teach Better 2022. I don't think it's a spoiler to be able to say that you have to be required to be there, Brad. I cannot wait to have you a part of that event, because I think you're right that, people appreciate curating good memories and being able to reminisce on those beautiful moments, those moments that were full of laughter and everything in between. And it's going to just be such a different feeling, I think, our second time around, because our community has gained so many incredible people since 2019. And I just can't wait to make more memories with a community that has seemingly quadrupled over the last few years, and been stronger than ever with the programs that we're able to foster and facilitate, and with the focus on being a connected educator. I just think it's so exciting.
A key focus that may have been missed or not come up in conversation so far this week, Ray, is what happened to Teach Better 21. And I remember, as a newer member of the Teach Better family at that time, I remember the amount of grace and the amount of care that the Teach Better team put into a very, very difficult but inevitable decision to cancel Teach Better 21. And then the family shifted. I mean, we shifted to, if we can't get together in person, how can we really dig in and continue to invest in staying connected online, which is the way the world was and what we needed to do. So I just want to go on record as saying, as someone who was newer to the family at that time, that made a tremendous impact on me, how that whole transition was handled. An inevitable but very difficult decision was handled with a lot of empathy and concern for everyone involved. And then it wasn't like, okay, we're done. It was an intentional positive shift towards improved support in ways that we could do.
Brad, I totally forgot about that whole process until you brought that up. And I think not so much canceling 2021, it was canceling 2020.
Thank you. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, because as many of you know, we referred to this in the past, it takes a year to plan our Teach Better conference. So after 2019, truly 2 weeks after 2019 happened, that conference, we had a kickoff meeting for 2020, which we expected to facilitate in the fall. I think it was October of 2020. And obviously at this time, COVID was was relevant, but not in our worlds yet.
Mhm.
And we actually even announced our keynote. We had booked
Yep.
our 12 featured speakers. We had our lineup, marketing products. We had even opened proposals. If you remember that, Brad,
Mhm.
we had opened proposals to our community to present at Teach Better 2020. And that was because at the time we were thinking, oh, it's no big deal. COVID will be gone in a few weeks, and October 2020, this is all going to be gone. And if you remember, Brad, we had a team meeting, and which is, I assume, the meeting you're talking about. And everybody on the team at the time, I think it was May or something, maybe June, early June, and we came together and said, "Uh-oh, this isn't gone. What should we do?" And the best part of that meeting, Brad, which I'm interested in hearing your perspective on that discussion that we had, but the best part for me was that Jeff Gargis was out of town. And so Chad and I were facilitating this monumental decision, and Jeff wasn't there. And it was really funny to me to be like, ooh, I can't wait to tell Jeff what we decide.
Monumental decision, and I only remember Ray and was part of the I guess the front end of that messaging, receiving it on probably on Facebook and maybe through Twitter, but following and participating for me at that time, following and participating in Teach Better team opportunities like Admin Mastermind and like Daily Drop In, and that got me hooked and connected with an incredible group of people, and has just meant so much to me personally and professionally. And so I just remember I remember the significance of that communication around the cancellation of Teach Better 2020. And I could feel the heaviness of the hearts that was in the messaging. And that is really what makes this team tick, is that empathy. It really, I think it really can't be stressed enough that real relationships can be built online and through opportunities like this. And again, kudos to the team for making the inevitable decision, the correct decision under, tremendously difficult circumstances. I mean, your hearts must have just hurt. Your hearts must have hurt, and you knew what had to happen. You knew it was inevitable. And, we want to look after everyone's safety, community safety. But yep, it was, I remember, I thought that was remarkable communication at that time.
Well, I appreciate it, Brad. And I know your perspective as an ambassador was a little bit different in some of the communication that we had, because, our ambassadors are so close to those decisions. And, there's so many benefits of being an ambassador in terms of getting information specifically and all that. But it was a very difficult decision. And that was our joke through 2021 the whole time. We're like, are we going to do a conference? Are we not? And I just always enjoyed all the messages. It was like July, and people are like, are you doing a 2021 conference? I'm like, guys, we can't put a conference together in just a few months. Like, there's no way. But very, very excited that we were able to pull the trigger on making 2022 happen. Obviously, in the most safe environment we humanly can accommodate for, and welcoming in people all together to learn and meet in real life and kind of foster all the memories that we were able to do at a much smaller scale, now bringing the family together to have even more memories. I cannot wait. It's going to be such a good time.
Such a good time.
Brad, are you ready to be a part of this free ticket that we're giving away?
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm absolutely ready to just put me to work. I'm happy to support.
Yeah. So as many of you know, Teach Better Conference for 2022, tickets are open right now. It's early bird registration. It's $100 off. Please, please, please don't pay full price. Go take advantage. But we are giving away a free ticket. And it's interesting. Our team, as we were planning this ticket giveaway, did not collaborate much on how this was happening. And it was decided this week how the person was going to be picked. And I was very excited because I don't have to pick, because they decided it was your decision, which I'm sure you are not thrilled about, because nobody told you about this, Brad. But this is how it's going to go. Okay. I have a secret list of people's application to hopefully win a ticket. And we've selected a few based on one question that was asked during the free ticket application. The question was, why should you win this ticket? That was all the question asked. And there were a lot of answers that kind of gave descriptions on why they deserve to win the ticket. What we are going to do, Brad, is I'm going to be reading some of the answers, and we are going to choose the best one as the ticket winner. So are you ready?
Ready to go.
All right. I know this is very stressful, but I'm not going to tell you who wrote it. So technically, it's not your fault if somebody doesn't win because you had no idea who submitted each one of these answers. So one is I should win the free ticket because attending would be the most awesome event ever of my 2022 school year. Very nice. This one says, I'm working on making myself better and wanting to soak up all the information I can. I'm willing to collaborate with as many people as humanly possible in a very open team building environment. With struggling over the last couple of years with COVID-19, I want to bring joy and hope back to my school. Phenomenal. This says Teach Better 19 was life-changing for me, and I am willing to fold as many Chick-fil-A boxes as possible, hoping to come. For those of you that don't know, Chick-fil-A was our lunch sponsor last year, and we did fold a lot of boxes. This answer was really interesting, Brad. This says, I was introduced to teachbetter.com by my coworker, which I won't say the name of because it will give you too much information. I am looking for different and more engaging ways to reach my students and help them find success through the learning modules that I've done with the grid method and other courses. I've become a teacher who focuses on mastery learning and depth of learning. We talk about this flipped approach all the time in learning. I'm ready to take the next step into not only a flipped classroom, but also mastery learning by attending Teach Better 2022 to make me even better. I'm excited about this upcoming conference, and I know that this experience is going to make me a better educator, district mentor, and check-in, check-out facilitator. I want to infuse these ideas into our normal school practices through our school improvement team. So a very long answer there, but obviously full of good tidbits. These last two I'm going to share with you says, I'd love to connect with other educators to help me learn new ways to reach my students. Even though I have been teaching for 22 years, I know there is so much that I need to learn and grow, and I would love to do it with this community. And this one says, because I understand that even after 27 years in my career, I have so much that I can still grow and improve on every single year. Let me see if there's any others here that we wanted to note. All right. Oh, this last one here says, I can't not wait to see my Teach Better family. I'm going to take out and tweak a few answers here because it will give away who this is. But it says, I'm traveling from a very, very far location, and this free ticket would really help financially. All right. So we had kind of a whole gamut here. What are your thoughts, Brad, on hearing people's reasons on why they want to win this free ticket?
All of them are compelling.
All
of them speak to a desire to connect, a desire to improve. And I didn't hear one of those responses that didn't really embody the Teach Better mindset, which is, better today, better tomorrow, and doing it together.
So, Brad, I'm sure it's challenging because, you have no reference of who wrote these little tidbits. I actually argued as we were, kind of debating on how to pick. I was like, gosh, this question, I don't think people really knew we were going to be choosing the decision based off of this question because it seems like such an easy question, but there's got some beautiful answers there. So what do you think is a opportunity here in terms of giving away a free ticket? How should this be determined based on those wonderful answers? I wish we could give away, 100 of them. Then everybody who applied could get a free ticket. But
yeah, and I can, all of those answers really resonated with me for different reasons, and so it's really challenging to sort of pick a favorite answer. And I also recognize that when people are writing sort of a rationale, there's probably lots more going behind the scenes and beyond the surface of that initial response that we're not aware of. So it's a really, really tough decision, Ray. How many responses were there in total?
We had a lot of responses. I know we couldn't read them all, but a lot of our responses, we kind of chose the ones that really had some meat and potatoes in their answer versus just because I want to be there, like some of those answers that we tried to get some people that were able to share some memories or reasons. But we appreciate everybody who applied for this ticket opportunity. I'm sure we'll be giving away more in the future, but also please remember early bird registration is open. So Brad, I won't lie. I think that there were some ones that really stuck out for me.
Yep.
I love hearing about educators that even with so many years in the field are still striving to be learners. You know, that was something that really resonated with me, were the few answers in there that gave how many years they had been teaching. I mean, 27 years in the field, 22 years in the field. There are a few others that I read earlier, are educators that are saying, hey, I am not perfect. I'm still a learner, and I've done this for over 2 decades. I mean, that's phenomenal.
To me too, and the years of experience resonated with me, and the desire to continue to learn, even as an experienced educator. But also, one of the respondents indicated the desire to turn that learning around to mentor and coach others forward, which is that was really resonant for me as well.
I also really value any educator that's traveling from a from a far distance,
Right.
that wants some of that financial burden lifted. That is actually the hardest part, I think, of this conference, is there's no location that is convenient for everyone. And
Right.
that's hard to grapple with as we are making plans. And so there really was kind of like a moment of so much like love and compassion for anybody who is traveling any
sure.
distance to come. Anything that we can help in terms of helping with that financial burden, we would really, really love to, because we know that is so stressful. And thankfully, I will give a shout out if any of you are trying to find ways to save. Obviously, early bird registration has a big saving there, but also apply to be a speaker. Our speakers don't pay registration. So if you are in any way interested, we'd love to have you submit a proposal on March 1st to be a speaker at this event, because that would be wonderful too. So
Indeed.
What are your thoughts, Brad? We got to make a decision. What should we do?
Would you consider all of those respondents like finalists?
Yes, those are all finalists. Yeah.
And I believe there were 12 finalists. If I remember right, you read out 12 messages. Can you confirm either way?
It looks like I was handed a list of 9. Looks like I have 9 or 8.
Right.
Looks like I have 8. Yes.
Right. What I'd propose is that, because all of the answers were so compelling and resonated with each of us in different ways, and because we have no way of knowing what other burdens or what other needs the folks that responded might have, I propose that I just opened a tab in the browser. I'm going to select a random number between 0 and 10. So we're confirmed it's going to be between 1 and 9. And then if you just, if I read out the number, if you could just select the respondent that number matches up with, then that'll be our winner.
Okay, I'm so nervous, Brad. Okay, I'm sending you all my love, and I just want to say to our community, I hope you win.
Okay, so in my open tab, I've got random number between 0 and 10, and I'm going to hit enter.
Do it.
Okay, and that random number is 6.
Oh my gosh, 6! How exciting. Are you ready to hear the answer?
Ready.
All right. Our free ticket is going to Suzanne School. Suzanne School works at Fort Island Primary. She is a teacher there, and she lives in Ohio. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? Her response was that she had been teaching for 27 years. Holy moly. Congratulations. Shout out to our incredible winner, Suzanne School, will be joining us with a free ticket to Teach Better Conference. I can't believe it. How exciting. So
fantastic. I want to commend everybody who entered and just shared their feelings forward. And as Ray mentioned, we would love to stay connected with any opportunities that we have to support your participation, including, the early bird registration, and including letting us know how we can help support you in your journey to Teach Better 22.
We cannot wait to be part of that journey. Please let us know if we can do anything to support you. We'll be right back with our weekly recap, which is actually not going to be a recap of the week, and it's going to be a preview for next week because we're breaking the rules. We'll be right back. All right, friends, we are wrapping up Daily Drop-In. Shout out to Suzanne School, who is our winner of our free registration ticket to Teach Better 19. Or I'm sorry, not to Teach Better 19. That already happened. To Teach Better 2022. We are thrilled to have you a part of our community. And we are also very appreciative for everybody who submitted. We are going to do everything in our power to get you to this event. So please let us know if there's anything that we can do to support you. And obviously, we cannot wait to see your beautiful face over October 14th and 15th in Teach Better 2022. To do a really, really quick preview to all of our friends, and it's Friday, next week, our theme is getting creative before the end of the month. So we are going to be talking about bringing creativity to your students, to your staff, to kind of, get them all set to finish out the year strong, finish out the month strong. We have some incredible guests joining us, a lot of new members to our Teach Better family, but also some members that you guys already know. For example, Vernon Wright, who is a very active member of our Teach Better podcast network, is going to be joining us. We also have Efrain Mendez joining us, and also James O'Neill. So we'll be having some great conversation around how celebrations can be not only a valuable part of our day-to-day celebrations, but also an opportunity to give you some ideas, some tactical takeaways to make sure that we are celebrating students and staff this month. So Brad, it's going to be a good week next week.
Sounds like a great week. Always something to build on with a daily drop-in. We've got incredible reflections from this week about Teach Better 19, huge positive anticipation for Teach Better 22. And in between, we've just got that commitment to coming together, connecting, and keeping each other, supported and accountable to being just a little bit better each day. And I love that shift in thinking of creativity. This is that shift is something I'm going to be taking with me into my day today, Ray, is that, as we work our way through challenges and obstacles in our settings, we have the opportunity to think creatively. We're literally bringing new things, new ideas, new processes into existence. So I'm really looking into digging into that idea of ending the month with creativity.
It's going to be so fun. Yes, I cannot wait to hear everybody's ideas and also have our guests share their thoughts and ideas throughout next week. We hope you all have the best Friday ever. I mean, it's November 12th, Brad. I have a feeling this is going to be the best Friday they've had in this whole year. I think this is going to be it. The best Friday that we're walking into. So we wish you all a wonderful November 12th. We've given everybody a lot to think about so far this show, Brad. One of the things I'd love is that as you're headed into your day, as you're headed into your weekend, please feel free to snap a picture of you parallel parking so Brad and I can give you, like an A+ rating, or maybe even more of a C, depending on your skill set. And of course, if you have not learned, Brianna Shaner is willing to have you borrow some cones so you can practice. So fun chatting with you today, Brad. It's always good to see you.
I really appreciate our discussion about parallel parking, and I'm really anxious to see all of those photos come in. And I'm also anxious to continue the conversation about favorite pizza ingredients. That has been a real treat. So it's been a wonderful conversation, and looking forward to following up again with you in 1 week's time.
I want you to know, Brad, I've already gotten 2 messages on Facebook, which usually people don't message me on Facebook, but 2 messages on Facebook about the comparison of anchovies to pineapple, and I'm not happy about it. These are not comparable distastes, guys. Anchovies are gross. Pineapple's delicious. So keep the debate up.
Yeah, I was just imagining. I mean, to really solidify that, I just want to imagine an anchovy smoothie and a pineapple smoothie, and I just that seals the deal. There's no comparison.
You know what, Brad? It's your fault that this came up. You created this monster. Yep. We are going to head out here with our little Teach Better 2022 video to kind of wrap up our fun week that we've had reminiscing on the Teach Better conference, and we're headed into some more PD next week. So we appreciate you all. Happy Friday. Good to see you, friend.
See you soon.